Hello guys, how are you? How are you doing? How are you feeling? I am back with another story time for you guys, and this time it's going to be about the time that we got broken into, or we thought we did. So this goes back to when I was about 8 years old, I believe, and my brother was 10. This is my middle brother. His name is Miguel. I think I already told a story about him when he stabbed me in the hand on this channel, but I don't know if I named him or not, but yeah. My brother's name is Miguel, and he's 2 years older than me. So one time we were hanging out in Montreal, Canada, when my family and I first moved here. As I've said millions of times, I swear I'll do this one day, but I'll tell you guys the story of my life and where we've moved and everything and why and what happened and all of that. But when my family moved from Florida to Montreal was when this took place. So this was at our first home in Montreal after living in refugee residence, and it was a very small apartment. My two brothers and I shared a room. It was a 2-bedroom apartment, very small rooms, very small living room and kitchen, and it was mainly made out of wood, as most things are in Montreal. We were not very wealthy. We were still on welfare and going to food banks and whatnot. But we lived a pretty good life. My brothers and I had a really good childhood. So whenever I say that we weren't very wealthy, I'm not being ungrateful. It's just how things were. But it was a day when my dad was out working, and it was later at night. It was like late afternoon, let's say, when this story began. And my dad was working. My mom and my oldest brother were out, I believe, getting groceries or going to a food bank. I'm not sure. It was just me and my middle brother, Miguel, and I can't remember what we were doing at first, but I remember the second half of the story better, so I'll kind of roughly tell the first half of the story. But the first half of the story, we were either in our room or in the living room. So let me explain the layout. Our apartment was like a long strip, so there was a balcony on this side, and then there was my parents' bedroom. Then it was the living room, then it was the kitchen, then it was our bedroom. And the washroom was like over here near the living room. But our bedroom also had a balcony that was connected to a emergency exit ladder or stairs that are very common in Montreal. Fire exits are connected to almost every apartment, which is kind of scary now that I think back to it, because I am like terrified of getting broken into. It's like one of my biggest fears. But yeah, this balcony was connected to these stairs that you could climb up or down in case of emergencies, but a lot of people use them if like they parked on that side of the building, and then they would go up the stairs and go to their apartments. So this particular day we noticed, either heard or saw something that made us believe someone is on our balcony. And I don't remember which room we were in, but as soon as we saw or heard that, we ran to my parents' room, so like the opposite side of the apartment. So we're hearing these things, we're freaking out, we're like, what do we do? We're home alone, an 8 and 10-year-old. What are we gonna do? So we went to check the scene out, very scared, terrified for our lives. We were like peeking around the corner, and we looked at our door, because there was a door there in our and all 3 of us siblings, our bedroom had a door for that balcony. And there was this little latch, like a little lock latch that when you would close the door, you would lock it. It had a lock on the handle, and then it had like the little latch that goes on like this little hole thing, so that like if someone tries to open the door and it's not locked on the handle, they can't open it because of that latch. So that latch was actually outside of the door. So this is, you know, the frame of the door. I don't know how to explain this. Let's just say the latch was outside of the door. Like the door was like closed shut and the latch was outside. And we didn't know if the door was locked or not. So we were like freaking out. We were like, oh my God, like there's actually someone in there. They either just tried to get in, or they're in our bedroom. Like we're like whispering, and like we go all the way to my parents' bedroom again. We're freaking out, and in the middle of all of this, in the middle of us brainstorming, thinking what we're doing, I literally fell asleep. And the last thing I remember before falling asleep was my brother calling 911. We were like seriously like so scared. We were like, what are we gonna do? Our parents aren't home, our big brother isn't home, we are defenseless. So my brother called 911 and I fell asleep. I don't know if I was too freaked out or if I was just tired of like all the emotions, but like I literally just fell asleep on my parents' bed. And the next thing I know, I wake up and my brother is still on the phone with the police, and I'm hearing banging at our front door. That is in the living room, the room right next to our parents' bedroom. I'm hearing really loud knocking at our door, and I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? And my brother's still on the phone. He's crying, terrified. He's just like, why can't you guys open the door? And I can hear them on the phone saying, you need to go and open the door so we can come in. And I can hear them banging on the door, so I know now that it's the police. They're banging on the door and saying, hey, open the door, it's the police. And I kind of get up, rub my eyes, and I'm like, why won't you open the door? And he's like, I'm too scared. So my middle brother, 2 years older than me, is too scared to go open the door for the police. The ones who are going to keep us safe, the ones who are going to solve this entire thing. I'm scratching my head, I'm thinking like, what do we do? And he's on the phone and he's saying, I swear I heard footsteps, either trying to rob us or kidnap us. Something was going down and it was bad. So I remember him saying on the phone, like, I heard something drop and I heard his footsteps. He's in here and I'm too scared. And I do remember, actually, I don't know if it was before or after I fell asleep, but I remember us hearing something like marbles dropping, and it was like it was so weird, and we were like, oh my God. It was so scary. As an 8-year-old, like that's terrifying. The most you want when you're a child is to feel safe and like stranger danger, you know, like you're just, oh, it was so scary. Probably one of the scariest things I ever went through when I was a kid, other than like a horror house that we went to in Disney. But anyways, so my brother's on the phone crying like, please open the door, and the cop's telling him like, we can't. It was a girl cop on the phone. She was saying, we can't open the door, we don't have like a universal key. And he's like, you don't? I guess he thought that like they could just either, you know, break down the door or like have some kind of key to open it. They didn't, and they were like, please open the door so we could see what's going on. And I decided, you know what, like we need to open the door for these cops. These are the ones that are going to save us. So I got up and I went and opened the door, and my brother was looking at me walk out the door of the bedroom of my parents, and he's like, no, don't go. Like, it was like a freaking telenovela, I swear. So I walk out the door and I'm like, we have to open the door. So I open the front door, the police rush in, they go to the area where we told them we thought someone was there. They open the back door to the balcony that was connected to the stairs. They check it out, you know, everything's there. My brother gets off the phone with the cops. He comes and sees, and they check the whole place. There was no one there. They find out that the noise that the footsteps, I don't know what that was. It might have been just the wood cracking and us imagining it and just freaking out. But they found out that the marbles we heard, which were like a definite yes, were just pieces of ice, because this took place in the winter. So, ugh, my camera just died, I swear. When I want to sit down and film for therapeutic reasons, as I said in my previous video and in my previous video before the previous video, everything goes wrong when it comes to like technical issues. But I'm not gonna let it get me down, because I sat down today and I said I'm gonna do makeup and story time. So that's what I'm doing. Charge my battery a little bit because it died, but lack of space and lack of battery is not gonna bring me down today. I already had a rough enough morning. But anyways, back to the story. So the cops ended up finding out that the marbles that we thought we heard were a huge piece of ice from a balcony that just shattered into a million pieces in the balcony and made that noise, because they found like so much ice in the back. And as you guys know, if you're from Canada, Montreal can be really, really cold. I know there's places in Canada that are probably colder, but like the winters in Montreal can be like unforgiving. But yeah, they checked the entire house and we were fine. Nothing was there, no one was there, everything was fine. And in the middle of them doing their little discovery, they were like, why are these two young children here by themselves? And I can't remember if they called my mom or my mom just had good timing getting home, but like, point is, she got home as the cops were still there and she was pissed. She was like, why did you guys call the police? What the hell? She told us this after they were gone, obviously, but while they were there, she was like, oh, I'm sorry. And she didn't really speak French that well, but she put together what she could, and she was like, I'm so sorry. Okay, now my camera's really screwing with me. I need to get another battery and another bigger space memory card, because they're both trying to fuck me up today. But anyways, yeah, later on when the cops left, I'm gonna end this story very quickly because now I'm just videotaping on my phone, which throwback much. Yeah, the cops left. My mom got us into so much trouble for calling the cops and probably never left us alone for a very long time after that. And she also got me in trouble for having my Barbies out in the living room naked with no clothes. Sorry, Mom. But yeah, that's the story about the time that we thought we were getting broken into. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already because it's free. Follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. All that jazz is in the description box down below. And I'll see you guys next time.